Itachi makes his grand debut in the Kakashi Anbu arc, and my review of Naruto Shippuden, episode 357. Aside from some choppy animation this week, this was one of the better episodes of the Kakashi Anbu arc, and it's not just because Itachi finally showed up in the episodes, and it was also helped by the fact that there was a brand new intro which kicked a lot of ass, and there was also an ending which kicked equally as much ass. This was a great episode. It makes me wonder why they never did anything with the Anbu before. They could have had their own huge filler session with these guys. They were totally missing out. Instead, we got ninja ostriches. But that's in the past. Let's get to the present. This week's episode was awesome. Basically, what I liked about this one is you got to see the two sides of the Konoha ninja. You got to see the Boy Scout green flat jacket wearing guys. Those are the ones who basically just help old ladies cross the street and help get cats out of trees. And then you have the Anbu, the real badass ninjas. These are the guys who really made this episode for me, because it was one of the few times in the entire series, and I think this is kind of insane when you think about it, the whole series felt really ninja-y to me. It had this whole, like, ninja atmosphere, especially the scene where Danzo, the third Hokage, were having this conversation about this mission that Itachi and Kakashi were going to have to go on. And the way they talked about it, and the way the third Hokage just left the room, and how they all just stood in place and had this conversation, was so tense and so awesome. But obviously, the big thing here is Itachi is now in the story. He just joined the Anbu organization, and he has teamed up with Kakashi. And this is really interesting because obviously you can sort of see almost that Kakashi was sort of influencing Itachi even before all of the crazy events, before the Uchiha massacre even took place. And you can sort of see it in this episode, but it also goes to some really dark places in this episode. And again, that's one of the themes this week, is possessing enough darkness to become an Anbu ninja or join Danzo's organization. And there was a scene I do like where Guy was actually walking right past Danzo, and he actually asks him personally if he could join the Anbu because he wants to be closer to Kakashi. But Danzo straight up denies him, and he says, "You don't have enough darkness." That makes sense. I just don't see Guy as like a killer. I just see him as sort of like a superhero protector. But again, that's another thing about this episode. Kakashi is sort of walking that fine line between being a killer and being a protector. And there's this scene towards the end of the episode where the whole mission is they're trying to like exchange these scrolls with these people from another land. And it goes completely awry, and Guy has to end up fighting against him, and he even opens up 5 of his gates to fight back, which is a little bit of overkill, but it's pretty awesome. But then Itachi and Kakashi jump in, and they decide to fight with him, and they destroy these guys. They kill them, and then they systematically just take them out one by one to put them out of their misery, and it's really fucked up, especially when you see guys just seeing all this happen, and they're all just covered in blood, and it doesn't really seem to be affecting them at all, and the fact that they're wearing masks just makes it seem all the more creepy. And that scene is great because it perfectly shows you the 2 different types of ninja from that village. You can really see it through those 2 different characters, and obviously there is going to be a character change for Kakashi a little bit later in the story. But otherwise, this was a really great atmospheric episode. There were a lot of things I didn't even mention about some of the little action scenes at the end, which, like I said, the animation was kind of choppy, but still, I think it was the story that made this week's episode really good. And of course, there's the whole thing with Itachi having to go back to his village. He's also sort of conflicted because, you know, he wants to help out the village, but he still wants to remain loyal to his family at the same time. But he's also sort of trying to change things within the Uchiha clan. He's trying to make them seem like they should be a part of the village, they should be more important. You can see that at the end when he's talking with his family. He's even hanging out with his buddy, Shisui Uchiha, who, by the way, is now a playable character in the new Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution. I was going to do a whole separate video about it, but I just don't have that much to talk about it. I just think it was kind of cool that they made him have an appearance in this week's episode, and he is going to be a playable character. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with him, because he never really had any action scenes, but there it is. That's really all I have to say about it. But otherwise, this was a fantastic episode. It had a lot of atmosphere. For the most part, the artwork was good. It was a lot better than the animation was this week. All the music was good. And like I said, this was just such a great ninja-y episode of Naruto, which I think is kind of strange because, you know, that's sort of the basis of the entire series. But this one just sort of had like that old school sort of dark, black in the shadows, like ninja feeling to it. And I really, really dug that. So let's go ahead and talk about that opening and the ending. So, oh, and by the way, there will be spoilers right here because just They pretty much give away a ton of stuff in the intro and the ending. Not too much, it's mostly a lot of imagery about characters and what they're going to look like in the future. But still, if you don't read the manga and you don't want to be spoiled, go ahead and go to the end of the video. But the opening was great. It immediately opened up with the big god tree extending into the sky, which is obviously the true form of the Ten Tails. That's really awesome. But all of the fight choreography in the opening is really, really cool. I really hope the episodes look that good. They probably won't. There's Kakashi and Obito fighting, and of course, all the stuff with Naruto and Sasuke is really important. The biggest thing, though, in that opening, though, was the final shot where they actually give you the glimpse of Obito as the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails. Thought that was pretty damn awesome. The ending is equally awesome. It has a lot of really cool fight choreography. Kakashi and Obito again. All of this stuff with Naruto, I love the way they're animating him, and I love the colors they're using. It's very bright and almost neon and fluorescent-like. I really wish they would do something like that in the show. And it goes really well with the backgrounds, which are all like really dark black and purple. It really makes him pop a lot in those final scenes. There's even a scene with Guy using a really big attack. And of course, there's Naruto and Sasuke standing together, which just gives you the feels and gets you all freaking excited. Just a really great brand new opening and ending that I really, really love, and it went along with a pretty decent episode of the series. Seeing the brand new opening just makes me want it to go back to the canon stuff really, really bad, because a lot of really big events are going down, and there's a lot of hints to that in the intro, like Hinata crying, and just all the imagery and just all the stuff at the end with all the characters showing up. It just gets you really, really pumped up. And we also need to realize, too, that Naruto is on its last leg. It's getting ready for its conclusion. The manga's almost done. The anime is probably going to be not too far behind it when that's finished up. So let's just enjoy this while we can, guys, and get as much Naruto goodness as we can, because this is a great series. I've been following it for years. Knowing that it's coming to an end is just making me appreciate all this stuff all the more. So, thought it was a good episode. Animation was a little bit of choppiness, so I'm going to drop this one down to a 9 out of 10. But it's still a pretty damn good episode. It introduced a lot of cool concepts. It's tying into some of the other stuff of the series. And it's great insight to see how everybody was dealing with all that crazy shit in the past. So check it out, guys. Great episode. It was definitely worth your time. So if you guys had a chance to check out this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden, I would love to hear your thoughts about it, and you can tell me with your comments below. Did you like the brand new opening, the ending? Did you like the introduction of Itachi this week? Did you think this was just a crappy episode? Remember, guys, before we leave, make sure and give this video a thumbs up. It's one of the easiest ways to support our videos. It's really, really easy to do. It really does help them, so go ahead and do it. It's not a problem. I'm waiting. Any minute now. Okay, so you can subscribe to the channel as well, so you can check out all of our brand new content, and you can also check us out on Facebook, on Twitter. I'll put links to both of those in the description box below. So, I'll see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000, out.